motion for that. He's a lawyer. He knows how to go about it more than I do. But why I'm responding to it is because it's Chief Edwin Clark that made this suggestion. And the suggestion is very, very wrong. Look, I'll tell you something. If you know Ondo and Delta State, is a thin line. The boundary is a thin line. Whatever is done in Delta State, in Warri area, in Ishekiri area, is felt by the largest. So what do you do? How do you remedy that? Ocean tide brings pollution to Ilaje. Those waters are our farmland. We can't fish. We can't do anything. Recently, a village was submerged. Araromi. No, Ayetoro was submerged. So I don't know what Baba Edwin Clark was talking about. Any pollution in any place in Ishekiri land will be felt by the largest. So how do you remedy that? All right.
Now, there are Nigerians who are currently saying there are bigger issues affecting the entire Niger Delta region than this forth and back over appointment. But what other appointments or what other NDDC appointment do you have an issue with in the entire component?
No, that's what I'm telling you. Every state that produces oil has a state rep. Beyond that, the executive management, should be shared among those states. The law had been followed for the position of the chairmanship. But when it gets to the executive management position, 4 states want to repeat it. And that's not what the Constitution is saying of the Niger Delta body itself. That's not what the law is saying.
So what do you think is needed to be done to ensure adequate inclusion in the commission?
Yeah, obey the NDDC Act. Obey Section 12, Subsection 1. Rotate the executive management. Let every state have a shot before another state will have the second shot. Now, even if you look at it, Bayelsa is number 4. If you are supposed to have a second shot, should they be the first to have a second shot? The whole thing is shrouded in what we can't explain. Now, if you have had 1, 2, 3, 4, there should be 5, 6, 7. That's the problem. And what they do is against rule of law. That's what we are telling them. And if you work so much against rule of law, so many things will happen. You see what the rascals in Akure are doing now. You see what they are doing now. When you go away from the law, from what the law states, then you get whatever is bad. Whatever result you get, the resultant result will be bad and worse. And that's what we are getting.
Right. So do you think this is one of the many issues affecting the progress of the NDDC?
Yes, it will affect it because the appointees, rather than work for those communities, they work for their godfathers, godmasters. Look, if you put somebody from Ilaje oil bearing committee, some of us will force him to do the right thing. But if he was put there by some other people, some powerful people on top, he doesn't listen to anybody. He listens to those who put him there. It's simple and short.
So you think this is what is currently happening with the new board?
It will continue to happen with all bosso formed with illegitimate people. It will continue to happen until you do the right thing, until you do what the law prescribes. You don't get any good results.
All right, we'll get back to that. But the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Abubakar Momo, has asked this new board members to change the negative narratives about the commission. How instructive is this for you?
Well, he's saying that, I don't know, but he knows the law. He didn't follow the law. Saying and expecting illegitimate people to do the right thing will be very difficult. It's a tough one.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, expecting those people who are not legitimate to do the right thing will be very tough. because they have people who put them there.
Right. So because you think Bayelson should not hold the chairmanship position for now.
Not the chairmanship, the managing director.
The managing director, pardon me. So why would you outrightly say this is illegal? Like I said earlier, this management was appointed by the Senate.
No, it was not appointed, but it was appointed by the president. It was the one who nominated them to the Senate. Yes. So you don't expect anything good from an illegitimate situation. Nothing can come, nothing good can come. It will be business as usual. Some people put you there, you dance to their tunes. So,
but when you say nothing good will come, I mean, some people have applauded the management for paying this backlog of payments.
Yeah. I come from Ondo State. I come from the Ilaje area of Ondo State. You know, in Ilaje, for 16 years, there have been no electricity. What is NDDC doing? Recently in Ilaje, a whole community, Ayetoro, was submerged by the ocean. What is NDDC doing? There are so many issues. There are so many issues. NDDC is beyond building culvert. You know what their budget for this year was when they started? 876 billion. Where is the 876 billion? But if you put somebody from that area there, some people will push him to do the right thing. Some of us will force him to do the right thing. Not people who know that they are not qualified for the position you give to them. You won't get results. You won't get results.
Let me also ask you, do you think it is because Ondo State has no one on the board? That's why the state is not getting the needed attention?
No, that's not it. Even those states, go to Bayelsa, go to Rivers. Rivers, yes, Governor Wike did so much. What did NDDC do? NDDC is still on the rented property. So nothing good will come out of it.
So this is about the leadership of the commission?
Very correct.
Right. So some analysts have insisted that the NDDC needs visionary leaders with integrity to drive the commission's mandate. How confident are you? I mean, you're saying this is illegal, but then I still need to ask you this question. Before your proposition comes to light, how confident are you about this new board to do that?
This new board will end up doing nothing. 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 Okay, I will give you an example. Somebody from Akure was made executive director, corporate services. Akure have never suffered any deprivation on account of oil exploration. Ilaje have suffered. Are you telling me you don't have professionals who can be managing directors, who can be executive directors in Ilaje? That's not correct.
So that appointment should have gone to someone from Ilaje?
Someone from Ilaje, that's what I'm saying. And probably chosen by the people, so that he could be drawn to see what...
But Otito Atikashe is a member of the board from Ilaje.
Otito Atikashe is a state rep. All states have state rep. All states producing oil. All regions not producing oil have representative. Just like Otito is for Ilaje, somebody is for Akwa Ibom, somebody is for Bayelsa, somebody is for Delta. So it's not part, that's not part of it. The people who take decision there are the executive management. So if you don't give the people who are qualified, who are legitimate, what they should have, nobody will be able to put them to task. If somebody in Abuja or somebody elsewhere appoints them, they work for that person. They won't work for the community. And that has been what has been happening ever since.
But does this not tell on the efficiency of your state rep if the state is still suffering some deprivation?
Well, to some extent, yes and no. Because the job is done by the executive management, not the state rep. Like the state rep are people you call non-executive directors. They do little or nothing.
So why are they there?
Yeah, they are there to coordinate, to, to augment what they have there. They are not executive people. When you have a bank, you have a managing director, you have the executive directors. Sometimes you meet maybe once, 2, 3, 4 times in a year. What can you do? But these people are day-to-day people, day-to-day management. You see the difference? You see the difference? So when you have somebody who is not even a full-time member, you don't expect him, you don't expect his output to be like, full-time member. And aside that, all these states that have the executive management, they also have state reps. So even if you take a vote, their state rep will vote for them. The executive management will also vote for them. So it will be 2-1.
So, Mr. Akiola, if you're saying some of the states that have produced executive directors of the board still suffer some deprivation, what does this tell us? This
tells us that the process of selection should be looked at. The communities, the oil-bearing communities, must be involved in the nomination. Otherwise, you nominate someone, maybe a Bayelsa indigene, who have been resident in Lagos, who is not even aware of what happens in Bayelsa, or not just Bayelsa, or Rivers. You don't expect so much about what he will do. You don't expect him, you don't expect the output to be so large. He will be confined, he will not be able to do what he's supposed to do. But if it's somebody who the communities know, the normal reasoning is that the community will force him to listen to them.
Right. But do you think the problem of the Niger Delta region can only be solved by direct involvement of the president?
No, I don't understand the question.
Now, some critical stakeholders from the region have said the problem of the Niger Delta can only be resolved by direct federal government intervention and active involvement of the president. How substantial is this?
Yeah, the president himself is a representative of Nigerians. Let the communities choose their representatives. Let the community be involved in this election. Some of those people you're talking about don't even know their communities. Some of them have not even been to their communities. Oh, look at Ayetoro now that is being submerged by ocean surge. Does Abegunde, who is the executive director, corporate services from Akure North, does he know anything about Ayetoro? Does he know what pollution is to the people? Has he ever been there? He does nothing. You don't expect him to do anything, because he does not know the terrain.
Right. So I would assume that all of this you've mentioned since we started this show is part of the underlying structural problems many people have talked about. I mean, there have been 3 critical areas people have said may have contributed to the huge challenges in the Niger Delta region. Some have talked about corruption, political influences, and underlying structural problem. Let's talk about corruption, which remains the biggest challenge for the NDDC to deliver on its mandate. How can this be tackled?
It's still the same thing. Involve these communities. Involve these communities. The communities know what their problems are. Everybody in Nigeria knows that the whole of Ondo South have been without electricity for 16 years. How will someone who lives in Akure or Abuja appreciate that? It will only take an Ilajema or an Ikale man to understand that. So, if you put people who are not legitimate, who are not supposed to be there, they don't know what these people suffer. You know, when we say all these things, it's a series of breaches. It's a series of illegalities. And you don't look at what is happening in Ondo State now. When you don't allow for rule of law, anything comes. The rascals in Nakure, instead of them to look at Section 190, subsection 1 and 2, and do what is the right thing. They are busy screening, appointing people to offices, and there is no governor. Instead of them to take Lucky Ayedatiwa and swear him in as the acting governor, they are chasing Chadu. Do they need to have the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu intervene into it? Do they not know what Section 190, Section 1, Subsection 2 is? They know, and these are lawmakers. If lawmakers make this kind of mistakes, what do you expect from the average man on the street?
Absolutely. Now we'll have some other time to talk about Ondo politics, but let's get back on track. Okay. Let's talk about this forensic audit report on the nddc. Why do you think the report is yet to be made public?
It's too bad. Jumoke, is too bad.
How bad?
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks. Honestly, I look at some things there. The budget for this year, 876 billion. Can you see projects that can match that? Even half of that. If you go around Niger Delta Basin, you know what Niger Delta Basin is? Can you see 10 billion naira projects? It's bad. That forensic audit should not even be discussed. I don't even want to talk about it.
Let's discuss it.
No, I don't want to talk because it will make me feel bad. The quantity of money that have been siphoned and stolen on account of godfather-godson relationship is better we don't talk about it.
No, if you're saying we do not talk about it, are you in support of it being swept under the carpet?
Well,
I mean, this is what affects the entire Niger Delta region. And if you're here today saying things have to be done differently, it means we need to talk about it.
That's what we are saying. It will make me feel worse. I'm feeling bad now. If I have to talk about a lot of the quantum of stealings that have been made, I only feel bad.
By who?
By operators of Niger Delta Development Commission. Those who have been executive director projects, executive director, admin, executive director, because these are people who sanction projects. So it's better you just find a way of forgetting about it. Look, I don't know if you've been to Ilaje. Go around Ilaje, start from Ilumeje, go to Bokoda, go to Demain, go to Deugbo, go to Bonla, go to Ilowo, go to Ayetoro Seaside. It's all it's not worth the talk. It's not worth the talk. And you know something? Oil was first discovered in Ilaje, and people don't want us to say it, and I'll continue to say it. Oil was first discovered in Ayetoro. Yes, it was discovered in commercial quantity in Oloibiri, but the first discovery was Ayetoro, Ondo State, Ilaje, Ondo State. They don't want us to talk about it.
So, you just said there were quantum of stealings of the nddc. But does this mean, so does this mean that the problem actually are the stakeholders, the big wigs from the Niger Delta states?
Yeah, people who appoint or nominate their godsons.
Asked the question because some weeks ago on the show we had a stakeholder from Delta State, River State, pardon me, Peter Thomas, who emphatically said that the leadership of the National Assembly must hands off the resources of the nddc for the commission to thrive. It says there is so much interest outside of the Niger Delta.
Yes. You just said the National Assembly confirmed the nominees. You said that while we started. They confirmed not because the people are legitimate. They confirm for some other reasons. They know the law. Look, last year, 3 distinguished senators from Ondo, Professor Boroface and the 2 other senators, they wrote the National Assembly that the nomination of one Charles, what's his name again? This guy from Owo that was appointed executive director projects. These gentlemen, these distinguished senators, they wrote that it's against the Niger Delta and the Niger Delta Act, the Niger Delta Development Commission Act, that the Senate should not confirm them. The president should renominate. But they still went ahead to confirm them. When you only need 2 senators to refuse a nomination, 3 senators wrote, they still went ahead to do the confirmation. During this confirmation, based on the readings of the Senate president, the 3rd executive director, Abegunle, was not part of it. But on the day of confirmation, it was also confirmed. Have you ever seen a Senate or a legislature who will confirm en masse? It doesn't happen. They only ask the chairman and the managing director to speak to them. You don't do that. So the rot is where only God can save us.
All right, Mr. Akinola, let's quickly go back to this issue of state rep. You talked about the nddc Act, Establishment Act. Yes. The law stipulates what local government a state rep must come from. Area.
Yes, if you want to espouse it, say local government, but not state. Because in that same law, state was also mentioned.
Meaning that?
Meaning that state is different from area. It specifies oil-producing areas. States from oil-producing areas, oil-producing areas from states. So they knew what they are doing. Until they come to terms with the truth, we'll still be going through the circles.
So I also find it very amusing, and I'm sure a lot of Nigerians also find it very amusing, that the people allegedly stealing or stealing in quotes, like you said, are from the Niger Delta. Isn't it surprising that these people are stealing rather than improving the life and condition of people from the Niger Delta region?
Yeah, it's not surprising to me. Reason is not surprising to me. If I engage you, you do what I want you to do. It's as simple as that. If I engage you, Jumoke, you do what I want you to do. You don't do what I want you to do, I sack you. It's as simple as that. Yes.
Mr. Akinola, let's take a break. I've been speaking with the National Coordinator of the Concerned Ilaje Stakeholders Committee, Akinola Bunegun, tonight to discussing nddc appointments and the inclusion challenge. We'll take a break now and we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Lagos is the most visited state in Africa as the 5th largest economy on the continent. Covering the state and its government is no mean feat, it's a busy beat. We go beyond the curtain of tapes to traveling far into the deep.
I want to thank the Lagos State government for the healthcare facility.
To bring stories that cut across all spectrums.
A greater Lagos shall be ours.
We tell you stories that define our collective well-being as Lagosians. I'm Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
The following.
Welcome back to Politics Tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us. For the past 45 or 40 minutes thereabouts, we've been discussing nddc appointments and the inclusion challenge with the national coordinator of the concerned Larger Stakeholders Committee, Mr. Akiola Brunikum. Thank you so much for staying with us, Mr.
Thank
Akiola.
you for having me.
So, I mean, there are many abandoned projects by the nddc. 20 years after the inauguration of the commission, huge socioeconomic problems still mountable. Tell us, how can this be tackled?
Well, you need to have sincerity of purpose. Ab initio, if the foundation is faulty, you waste your time building on it. If you put illegitimate people, I still call them illegitimate. If you put illegitimate people in supposed a place where you expect so much from, you don't. It's just a way of wasting money. It's just a way of wasting money. Look, we say all these things because we know the current president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We were together as political activists, pro-democracy activists. We know what we suffer. Some of us were thrown down from the bridge. Some of us were pursued with guns. Some of us were shot at. He also had to move out at some time. So he understands what democracy is all about. And democracy is built on legitimacy. Nigerians voted for him. He should safeguard that democracy. But if you have series of abuses of the law, rule of law not being taken into consideration, you have a situation that after some time you'll be unable to manage. It's quite unfortunate, but that is where we are going. That's where we are going, honestly. Everywhere. Look, the people at the states, they are seeing what the people at the federal are doing, and they are copying. When I travel, I used to give my children money as pocket money. When my elders got admitted into a school, a boarding house, I was traveling, I gave them money. The junior one, knowing fully well that she could be shortchanged, he said, "Daddy, share the money." The next one said, "No, you can't share the money. I'm going to share." Daddy cannot share the money. Because there have been a precedent. There have been a rule they follow. The most senior was always sharing. And she became the senior now. You don't want her to share. I couldn't share it because I knew she was right. Follow rule of law to do everything you do. And you have things easy. Flawless. But if you choose those laws you want to obey and those ones you want to disobey, you also see the result. You also see the result. If somebody knows that once I steal, this is what I'm going to go through, then there's a possibility that he won't want to steal. So follow the law.
Right. So you have consistently talked about the legality of this new board. I mean, 20 years since the inauguration of this commission, no progress, abandoned projects everywhere. Where do we go from here?
Yes, not all those boards are bad. When they started, I think the first to try their best. I must concede, Timi Alaibe tried his best. Timi Alaibe tried his best. But subsequent people who understand that they got there through the back door, so to say, started messing up to this one. Now, if you go through that Niger Delta, I'm still asking you, if you go through that Niger Delta basin, Can you talk about 50 billion naira project? No. But year in, year out, large load of money are being paid to people. What did they do? How are those funds expended? You talk about forensic audit, but I wish we don't even mention it. Yes, we don't mention it.
And I find that very scary because you're a stakeholder and you're on live television saying you don't want to talk about something that affects millions of people in the Niger Delta region. But once again, how will you advise, as a stakeholder, how will you advise the new board to carry on with all of the abandoned projects in the Niger Delta region?
Yes, they are not even talking about those abandoned projects. They're also starting their own that will also become abandoned over some time. Yeah, because they know they have God masters who nominated them, who they have to service. Otherwise, the legitimate people will be there. Once you don't do anything according to law, whatever you get, you take. It's as simple as that. Follow the law. Look, number 7 of this government agenda is rule of law. Agenda number 7 is rule of law. How will an international investor come to Nigeria and know that it's a country where you don't have rule of law or where rule of law is not obeyed? How will he invest his money there? Follow rule of law, not just for Niger Delta. Everywhere, follow rule of law so that we have a better place to live in.
Right. So I know very well that the nddc board members usually embark on a tour of the 9 states that makes up the Niger Delta region. What kind of conversation do you have?
Sometimes ago, we engaged them. We spoke with them. These and these are what we want. And none was attended to. Look.
This was when?
As far back as 10 years ago.
That's a long time ago.
Yes, these people still there are not ready to listen to you. Look, up till now, start from Udigbo up to seaside, Araromi seaside, there is no electricity for 16 years. Do you believe that? You know Udigbo, Ore. Start from there, downwards to Ilaje, no electricity for 16 years. And we have Niger Delta. What does it cost to install shoreline protection in Ilaje land and other littoral states? What does it cost? Other coastline states. What does it cost? Well, it will never be done.
Right, so but you're saying it will never be done. When was the last time you made an effort to push this conversation?
There is no board we have not engaged. There is no board that the Ilaje people have not engaged. There is no board that the Ijaw National Congress has not engaged. There is no board that the Ibibio people from Akwa Ibom had not engaged. But they end up doing nothing, or little compared with what is expected. Look, if Ondo State had benefited 50 billion naira, there would have been electricity in Ondo South. The whole of Ondo South, no electricity for 16 years. The whole of Ondo South, a third of a state, no electricity. So how do you reconcile that?
So that takes me to the issue of corruption in the nddc. I mean, there are substantive opinions saying the commission itself has been accused of misappropriating funds meant for the region. What do you think needs to be done in this regard as we speak? As you're a stakeholder, what do you think needs to be done in this regard?
Engage legitimate people. Engage the communities. If we get someone as MD in Ilaje, we will force him, literally force him to do what we want. We will force him. If the people of Imo State, the Egbema people, if they get what they want from nddc, possibilities that they will force whoever is there to work for them. Let the people be part of the nomination process. Let them be part of the nomination process and see if things won't work right. The people, you take people from Lagos, from Abuja, from wherever, who are not conversant with the community. You engage them, you appoint them. They won't do nothing. Believe you me, they won't do nothing. Now, this law I'm talking about, are you telling me the Senate do not know about it? They obviously know about it. But the culture of let's do what we like, not they will do nothing. The culture of impunity.
Right, so talking about members of the community, some analysts say the people of the Niger Delta constitute problem for the commission as well by putting members under pressure. How will you advise the people to support nddc, to support the commission to succeed?
Yeah, when you talk about pressure, what kind of pressure? Is it give us money or give us projects? There are two different pressures. If it's give us money, yes, it will not be right. But if it's give us projects, that's expected. That's expected and that's legal. So
that's what I'm saying. Please go ahead.
Yeah, what we're saying is that don't give out money to the communities. Give them projects. Go to Ilaje. Let Ilaje up to Ikale and Odigbo people, let them have electricity. Let them have electricity. Of course, they will be happy. Agitation will be reduced. Let them have shoreline protection. In fact, the whole of Niger Delta, for those states that are littoral, those states that are coastal, they should have some shoreline protection. Nothing like that.
Is this also a way to prevent environmental degradation?
Obviously. If you have a whole community being sacked by Ocean Surge, if the shoreline had been protected, the water would not have passed through. I mean, not to the extent of sacking a village. These are things the commission should be doing. And it's because they are not doing it. That is why everybody is saying that maybe the tactics should be changed. Yes. If for 21 years, what projects we have on ground cannot be commensurate with what amount of money was being spent, then we should have a change of tactics. Even in football, when you play and you are not getting the result you desire, you change tactics.
All right. Thank you so much. I mean, lastly, in the next 1 minute, development challenge is still a huge task in the Niger Delta region. What strategy do you think needs to be adopted to transform the region? In 1 minute.
Inclusiveness. Everybody should feel a sense of being part of whatever you're doing. But if you limit it to some parts, then you have problem. This board should be sacked. Retain the chairman, retain the state rep, change the executive management, follow the law, follow the provisions of that law. Go to sleep, but involve the communities. Involve the communities. Involve the communities. Do the right thing. Put legitimate people in positions. Don't allow godfathers to nominate.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kiola. I mean, this is a serious conversation, and I indeed hope that the people get the dividends of democracy. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. I've been speaking with the national coordinator of the concerned Ilaje stakeholders community, Akionla Bonegun, tonight to discuss nddc appointment and the challenge of inclusion. Thank you so much for coming on Politics Tonight.
Thank you.
And thank you very much. Sadly, we ran out of time. We will have some other time to talk about that. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. Please have a great weekend.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Do you struggle with having an active and healthy lifestyle due to your busy schedule? Do you find it difficult to make it to the gym? You want to improve your overall health, but don't know where and how to start? Medical experts agree that walking, running, and jogging are amongst the best ways to stay fit and enjoy a great active and healthy lifestyle. What if there was a convenient and affordable way to improve your health, improve your mood, and lose weight right in your own home? Introducing the SportX Digital Compact Treadmill, the compact foldable treadmill that makes being active and losing weight fast and easy. Just unfold it and walk, jog, or run while you watch your favorite programs on TV. And when you're done, just fold it and store it away. Now that's convenience. The secret is its advanced design that houses a 1-horsepower motor that is twice the size of most treadmills, packed into a nice compact unit, powering every step you take. You get the SportX Digital Compact Treadmill System complete with a rugged commercial-grade ultra-durable traction belt, large LCD multifunctional display that displays speed, time, distance, calories, and has 12 different exercise programs, as well as a magnetic safety key for added security.
The SportX treadmill has really helped me get back in shape after childbirth. I love it because it's compact and can fit anywhere in the house. And when I'm done, I fold and put it away. Easy peasy.
This is the best piece of equipment for people like me who want to stay active without leaving the home. I simply unfold it and use it while I watch my favorite program on TV.
Joining the gym can cost an absolute fortune, and you could be paying up to 600,000 naira in annual gym fees. Get the SportX treadmill to save the cost.